Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for everybody joining us. We're excited to play in the Texas Bowl against a great opponent. Just learned a couple minutes ago that it's going to be LSU, so it's going to be exciting for our guys. We're practicing this afternoon, and they knew it was the Texas Bowl before we started practice, but didn't know the opponent. So I'll be excited to talk to the guys as we finish up practice, and gives us an opportunity to play a great opponent, gives us an opportunity to continue to grow with our developmental guys. And then obviously I'm really excited for a bunch of seniors to get one more opportunity to play together down in Houston. So with that, we'll open it up for questions.
Okay, we'll start here with D. Scott Pritchin. You're muted, Scott. Hold on a second. I got to remember how to do this. There we go.
Okay. Congratulations, Chris. I know that this is different than the end of last year. You have talked about almost after every game about the story of the season. Could you briefly describe just what the story has been to this point for this 2021 team?
Yeah, it's got one more chapter, that's for sure, and an exciting chapter. And we knew the stories. It's a long story, and you're going to have some bumps in the road. And we had our leadership meeting today, and the last time we had a leadership council meeting, we were 3-3 and 0-3 in the league. And I challenged those guys to have an impact, challenge each other to be accountable. And lo and behold, that we got it to 7 wins. And although we're disappointed that we lost the last 2 games, I'm a firm believer that you're not judged by a moment, but you're judged by an entire body of work. And so we have one more opportunity with these seniors to truly finish the story. And I know our guys are excited about that, and we're going to get after it with our prep and hopefully play a really good game.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Kellis.
Okay. Hey, Coach, congrats on the bowl invite. Can you walk me through a little bit about your decision to make a change at offensive coordinator this week?
It's something that I thought long and hard about, and took a week myself after the game. And I didn't want to make any quick decisions. But, I thought about it long and hard, was on the road for all last week, which probably helped me get away and clear my mind and decide on what's the best thing for Kansas State University. And came back and had a conversation with Gene, and it was my decision that I thought we needed to make a change. That was very, very difficult, as you can imagine, as close as Coach Mess and I are. But I came here 3 years ago to get a program ready to go compete for a Big 12 championship. And this is not about Chris Klieman. It's not about Courtney Messingham. It's about Kansas State football. And I felt we needed to make a change. And so we did.
And what kind of excitement level do you have to see what kind of game plan Colin can put together in that interim role?
Well, I'm excited for Colin and the offensive staff, but I know we're not going to reinvent the wheel in 3 weeks. And I don't want him to think I'm judged solely on what happens here in this 3-week prep and one game. And so for me, it's more the leadership, the organization, how he interacts with the coaches, players. I'm going to kind of be a fly on the wall a lot with those offensive coaches to see, the plan that they come up with. And I know that we had a meeting this morning with the offensive staff. They're excited about the challenge, and we didn't know the opponent, didn't know where we were playing. So we'll be on the road this week again, and then we'll start that preparation next weekend.
And is your expectation for Skylar to be the guy in this game?
Yeah, we're practicing young guys this weekend. I don't think Skylar would be able to practice if we practice today. So we'll have everybody ready. And I don't know if that's going to be Will and Jaron and Jake who are practicing this weekend or by next weekend. If Skylar, I'll have to give you an update at another time. But everybody, all hands on deck this week with the quarterback position or this game.
And one more, and then I'll shut up. But just what are your general thoughts on playing a program like LSU that has so much history?
Yeah, not far removed from a national championship, and so much prestige and history behind LSU football. And it excites me. I know it's going to excite our staff and our team to be able to play a high caliber SEC team that everybody's talked about, heard about, and it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a big challenge because they have tremendous players, and I know they have a coaching change going on, but they got a bunch of kids that have a lot of pride and want to finish out with a win, just like we do.
All right, go again, D. Scott.
Yeah, you have those 4 core values up on the scoreboard, and I know they're very important to you. Can you just speak briefly about how maybe each of those directed the path of this team this season? Because I understand it's the tightest group that you guys have had.
Yeah, it really is. And, discipline, commitment, toughness, and to be selfless. And our guys have been really disciplined throughout the year. We haven't had troubles off the field, and guys have challenged each other on the field, and disciplined to come to work every day, committed to be committed to your teammate, to be committed to your brother, to be committed to K-State football, I think is important. Toughness, you play 7 games in a row after our bye week, or like we did, and that's a grind. And we have a lot of guys that fought through a lot of injuries. We got some guys playing that were really banged up, just like everybody else in the country. But I just know how tough those guys have been. And then to be selfless, and 18 to 22-year-olds, that's tough to ask. But a lot of selfless acts of guys changing positions and moving around different spots so that we could put the best outfit out there we could every Saturday. And we've got a tremendous locker room, really close-knit group of guys, and I know they're excited to be together for another month.
Thank you.
Anybody else? If you want to ask a question, just use the raise hand function. Let's go to Sully.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, I know you're very familiar with postseason football, but is there something that you learned from the preparation for the Liberty Bowl last time around, or something you want to take into this kind of preparation going into this game, which is also the last college football game for the national championship?
Yeah, I'm going to go back and look at my notes on it, Sully. Obviously, we didn't have success and win the game. It was a tight battle with Navy. It was also the triple option, which made it even more difficult. But I'll go back and look at my notes. I know how unique and special bowl games are in postseason football, especially for seniors that are getting their last opportunity to play and at least play for K-State. And so it's our job as coaches to make sure that we come up with terrific game plans so that those guys can just cut it loose and play. And so I'm excited about spending a month with these guys. And yeah, we'll probably tweak some things from what we did, just because it's my second opportunity to bowl game. And I've played in plenty of games in January, but we've probably played 4 games through December, where this year we haven't played any.
Go next to Fitz.
Hey, Coach. I'm curious. You named Colin the interim offensive coordinator. What are you going to do with the 2 vacant position groups for the bowl game?
Yeah, good question, Fitz. Brian LePack is going to handle the tight ends and fullbacks. And I'm excited. Brian's a quality control for us, so we've elevated him. And then I'm going to combination the wide receivers. Christian Ellsworth is a graduate assistant for us that I just think the absolute world of, and helped out Coach Mess. And Christian knows our offense, knows our talent level, knows our personnel, is a great communicator. So he'll handle the wide receivers, but we'll also elevate Will Burnham, and Will help us at the wide receiver spot as well as on special teams. So the 2 guys that kind of get elevated and moved up are Will Burnham and Brian LePack, but a lot more coaching responsibilities as well for Christian Ellsworth. So I'm excited for all those guys to have that challenge.
And those 2 analysts are now on the road recruiting, correct?
Correct. We
okay.
Just elevated those guys this weekend. You bet.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Let's go back to Kellis.
Yeah, one more for you, Chris. You said you're already practicing. The game isn't all the way until January 4th. How are you going to handle all that over the next month?
Well, the biggest advantage from a bowl prep standpoint is development in younger guys, and that's what we did to yesterday and today is more young guys practice, and give those guys just our base offense, base defense, and let those guys play football as well as technique, fundamentals, a lot of special teams drills. And since we're on the road all this week, a lot of the behind the scenes people will probably break down some LSU film, but when we come back next weekend to have a couple more practices, we'll do mostly just K-State versus K-State, because we'll have not had a chance as coaches to really dive into game plans. But that's still a great opportunity for these young guys to just play football and keep getting better at their craft, keep developing guys. We've got a lot of good young talent here that's been on the scout team. So we need to spend a lot of time with those guys. And so that's going to happen over the next week. And then by the end of next weekend is when we'll start diving into some LSU film.
And what was the team's response when they had Colin out there the first practices, I guess the interim OC? Did they have any reaction?
I know people are excited for Colin. The amount of respect that Colin Klein has within our program with the history of Kansas State, I know they're really, really excited for him. Once again, we're practicing mostly the young guys, and the older guys are with Coach True, going through some lifting and some running and stuff. So it's mostly young guys, but it's really practice as normal right now. We haven't tweaked anything. We might do that. But once again, we're in a recruiting mode right now. So we're keeping the practice as it would be a spring practice or a fall camp practice.
Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
Let's go to Arnie.
Yeah, Chris, I was wondering about you lost some depth at running back in the last couple of weeks. What's that going to look like now behind Deuce?
Yeah, we've got some young kids, in DJ Giddens and Deborah Withers, Jordan Shippers, CJ Price, that are going to get an opportunity. And that's fun for those guys, because they're going to get a chance to run with the top guys, and we can get a great gauge and evaluation on those guys. They all have ability, and we'll find out who becomes the guy or guys that are going to either spell Deuce or complement Deuce. And so, we still have number 22 back there, and we all know he's pretty special.
And does the fact that you're going to be developing some of these younger guys at that position, does it help then have the longer preparation period with the January 4 game?
Yeah, we've got to look at the calendar and how we're going to lay that out, and with Christmas and stuff. But in essence, we were going to have this time, whether or not we played earlier and just played right through, or let them go home for a handful of days at Christmas and then bring them back and start it over. But it's for everybody, this development time. I'm excited because we get a couple more weeks in the weight room with Coach True, and we're making great strides and great gains with a lot of younger players. And then you get to have those kids practice, and that's they love to be coached. They love to have the reps and not just be working off of a scout team card, which they've done for about 12 weeks. And so that's the exciting thing for all those guys, is to get a chance to just play football and not have to worry about reading a card, and just continuing to learn.